Hello and welcome back to Let's Practice English. I'm your host, Christine, and I am so happy you're here with me today. Whether you're commuting, cleaning your home, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, thank you for making this podcast a part of your day. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a friend or a colleague ask you a simple question like, "So, what did you do this morning?" Or, "How was your morning?" And you find yourself giving a very short, very simple answer. You say, "Oh, it was good," or just the usual. You know that feeling, right? The feeling that you did a lot of things. Your morning wasn't just good. It was a series of small actions, feelings, and moments. Maybe you woke up feeling tired, but then the smell of coffee made you happy. Maybe you listened to a great song while you were getting dressed. Maybe you had a nice, quiet moment before the chaos of the day began. Your morning was a story, but when you tried to tell that story in English, the words just weren't there. It felt easier to just say, "It was fine." You have the experiences, you have the feelings, but you feel like you don't have the language to connect them all together in a way that sounds natural and interesting. It can be frustrating. It can make you feel like your English isn't as advanced as you want it to be. Well, what if I told you that describing your daily routines isn't about knowing hundreds of complicated words? What if it's about having a simple, powerful toolkit that allows you to tell the story of your day with confidence? That's our promise for today's episode. I'm going to give you a framework for talking about your daily life, specifically your morning and evening routines. This isn't just a vocabulary list, it's a complete system. By the end of this episode, you will have a toolkit with 3 essential parts: the vocabulary building blocks, the connecting words that act like glue, and the special phrases that add your own personal flavor. You'll be able to describe your day in a way that sounds natural, fluid, and most importantly, sounds like you. So, are you ready to build your toolkit? Let's begin. Okay, our toolkit has 3 layers. We're going to start with the foundation, the most essential part. Part 1, the building blocks, core vocabulary. These are the common verbs and phrases we use to talk about the things we do every single morning and every single night. Let's not worry about connecting them yet. Let's just get comfortable with the words themselves. We'll break it down into morning and evening. First, let's talk about the morning. A lot of people think the morning starts when you get out of bed, but it often starts a little before that. The first thing that happens is your alarm clock goes off. That means it starts making noise. Then you wake up. To wake up is the moment you go from sleeping to being awake. Now, many of us don't jump out of bed immediately. Maybe you hit the snooze button. The snooze button is that magic button on your alarm that gives you 5 or 10 minutes more sleep. So you can say, "My alarm went off at 6:30, but I hit the snooze button twice." After you finally decide to start the day, you get up or get out of bed. These 2 phrases mean the same thing. "I get up at 7 a.m. is more common. After you're up, the routine really begins. Here are some very common actions. To brush my teeth. The first thing I do when I get up is brush my teeth. To wash my face. I like to wash my face with cold water to help me wake up. To take a shower or have a shower. Both are correct. I usually take a shower in the morning. To get dressed. This means to put on your clothes for the day. After my shower, I get dressed. To make the bed. This is the action of arranging the covers on your bed so it looks neat. I feel more organized when I make the bed every morning. To have breakfast or eat breakfast, I usually have a quick breakfast like toast and coffee. To check my phone, emails, the news, I try not to check my phone until after I've had breakfast. And finally, for many people, to head out or to leave for work or school. This means to leave your house. I usually head out the door around 8:30 a.m. If you work from home, you might say you start work. Okay, that's a good list for the morning. Don't worry about memorizing them all right now. You probably know many of them already. The goal is just to see them all together.
Now let's look at the evening. The evening routine is all about finishing the day and preparing for sleep. We often use the phrase to wind down. Winding down means to relax after a period of activity. Your whole evening routine is a process of winding down. Here are some building blocks for the evening. To get home from work or school, I usually get home around 6 p.m. To make dinner or have dinner, my family and I have dinner together every evening. To clean up, this means to wash the dishes and clean the kitchen after a meal. I listen to a podcast while I clean up. To get changed or to change into something more comfortable. This is the opposite of getting dressed. You take off your work clothes and put on pajamas or comfortable clothes. As soon as I get home, I get changed into my sweatpants. To spend time with family. In the evening, I like to spend time with my family. To watch TV, a movie or Netflix, we sometimes watch an episode of a series before bed. To read a book. I try to read a book for at least 20 minutes to help me wind down. To set my alarm. This is when you prepare your alarm clock for the next morning. The last thing I do on my phone is set my alarm for 6:30. And finally, to go to bed or to go to sleep. I try to go to bed around 11 p.m. Whew, that's our first part, the building blocks. We have the key actions. But a list of actions is not a story. It's like having a box of Lego bricks, but no instructions on how to build something. So now we need the glue to stick these bricks together. Welcome to part 2, the glue. Connecting your actions. This is where the magic happens. This is how you turn a simple list into a flowing, natural description. We use special words called sequences or connecting words. They show the order of events. Let's imagine your morning routine is 1. Wake up, 2. Check phone, 3. Get up, 4. Make coffee. If you just say, I wake up, I check my phone, I get up, I make coffee, it sounds robotic like a list. Now let's add some glue. The most common sequences are first, then, next, after that, finally or lastly. Let's try that robotic routine again with our new glue. First, I wake up at 6:30. Then I lie in bed for a few minutes and check my phone. After that, I finally get up and go to the kitchen to make coffee. Do you hear the difference? It instantly sounds more like a story. It flows. You don't have to use all of them. You can mix and match. Then, next, and after that are very similar and can often be used interchangeably. First is great for the beginning, and finally is perfect for the last step in a sequence. But we can get even more advanced. Let's add 2 more powerful connecting structures, before and while. Before helps you connect 2 actions by saying what you do first. For example, before I have my breakfast, I always drink a big glass of water. This is much more sophisticated than saying, first I drink water, then I have breakfast. While is amazing for talking about 2 things happening at the same time. This makes your description so much more dynamic. For example, while I'm having breakfast, I listen to the news on the radio. I usually listen to music while I'm taking a shower. For the evening, while I'm making dinner, my kids do their homework. Let's try to build a more complex evening routine using our new glue. Let's say the actions are get home, get changed, make dinner, watch TV, go to bed. Here's a possible description. I usually get home around 7 p.m. First, I get changed into something more comfortable. Then I start making dinner. While the food is cooking, I usually tidy up the living room a bit. After that, my partner and I have dinner and talk about our day. We usually watch an episode of a show on Netflix before we go to bed. Finally, I try to be in bed by 11:30. See, the building blocks are simple, but the glue makes it sound fluent and natural. This is the key to moving from a B1 level to a B2 level of speaking. You're not just listing facts, you're creating connections. So now we have our building blocks and our glue. We can build a solid structure, but it still might feel a little impersonal. How do we make it sound like your routine? This brings us to the final, most personal layer of our toolkit. Part 3, adding flavour. Your personality and your feelings. This is how you take a good description and make it great. This is how you put your own personality, your own feelings into the story of your day. You are not a robot, so your description shouldn't sound robotic.
There are 2 easy ways to add flavour. Using adverbs of manner. Using phrases to express your feelings. Let's start with adverbs. Adverbs describe how you do an action. They answer the question, how? Do you do something quickly, slowly, happily? Think about your morning. Do you quickly brush your teeth, or do you mindfully brush them? Do you groggily get out of bed? Groggily means you are still half asleep. Do you automatically start the coffee machine because you do it every day without thinking? Let's look at a simple sentence. I make my coffee. Now let's add an adverb for flavour. I lovingly make my first cup of coffee. That one word, lovingly, tells us so much. It tells us that coffee is important to you, that it's a special ritual. Here are some useful adverbs for routines. Quickly, or hurriedly, if you're in a rush. Slowly, or leisurely, if you have lots of time. Mindfully, if you do something with full attention. Automatically, if it's a habit you don't think about. Quietly, if you enjoy the peace. Groggily, that feeling of being half asleep. The second way to add flavour is by using phrases that express your feelings or opinions about parts of your routine. This is where you really let your personality shine. Instead of just saying, I read a book, you could say, the best part of my evening is when I get to read my book. I always try to make time to read before bed. For me, it's really important to disconnect from my phone and read. I can't imagine starting my day without my morning coffee. Something I love to do is listen to a podcast while I commute. Let's put it all together now. We'll take a simple morning routine and transform it, using all 3 parts of our toolkit: vocabulary, glue, and flavour. The before version, just vocabulary. I wake up, I get up, I take a shower, I have breakfast, I leave for work. Correct, but boring. The after version, full toolkit. Well, my alarm goes off at 6:30, but I usually hit the snooze button at least once. For me, those extra 10 minutes are precious. First, I groggily get out of bed and head straight to the kitchen. I can't imagine starting my day without a hot cup of tea. While the water is boiling, I quickly wash my face and get dressed. After that, I sit down and mindfully drink my tea while looking out of the window. It's my favourite quiet moment of the day. Finally, around 8 a.m, I grab my bag and head out for work. Wow, can you feel the difference? It's the same routine, but the second version is a story. It has personality, emotion, and flow. It tells us not just what you do, but how you feel about what you do. This is fluent, natural, and confident English. All right, that was a lot of information, but you have done a fantastic job. Let's quickly recap our 3-part toolkit for describing your routines. Part 1 was the building blocks. This is your core vocabulary for morning and evening actions, like wake up, get dressed, wind down, and go to bed. Part 2 was the glue. These are the essential connecting words and structures that make your description flow. We talked about sequences like first, then, after that, and finally. And we learnt the power of using before and while to connect ideas in a more sophisticated way. Part 3 was adding flavour. This is how you make the story your own. You can use adverbs like slowly, quickly, or mindfully to describe how you do things, and you can use phrases like the best part is, or I always try to share your personal feelings. When you combine these 3 parts, you move beyond a simple list of facts and start telling the real story of your day. And that brings us to our Let's Practice English challenge. I want to make this very simple and achievable for you. Your mission for this week is not to memorize everything we talked about today. It's just to practice one small piece of it. Here is your challenge. Sometime this week, I want you to describe either your morning routine or your evening routine out loud. You can say it to yourself in the mirror, record it on your phone, or tell a friend or family member. When you do it, I want you to try and use just 2 new things from today's episode. That's it. Just 2. Maybe you'll use 1 new vocabulary word like wind down and 1 connecting word like while. For example, in the evening, I like to wind down by listening to music while I make dinner. Or maybe you'll try adding 1 adverb and 1 feeling phrase. For example, I groggily get out of bed. The best part of my morning is having that first cup of coffee. The goal is to consciously and intentionally use a little bit of what you learned today in a real, practical way. 2 new things, you can do that. Our daily routines can sometimes feel boring or mundane. We do the same things every day. But they are the small stories that make up our lives. Learning to talk about them in English isn't just a language exercise. It's a way of honoring your own life. It's a way of finding the words for the small moments of peace, the little habits that make you who you are, and the quiet rhythm of your own world. Your daily life is interesting. Your experiences are valid. And now you have a powerful toolkit to help you share them. Thank you so much for joining me today. I believe in you, and I'm so proud of the effort you are making. Until next time, keep practicing and keep shining. Bye for now.